She didn't even have enough money to pay for the Uber ride back. Her makeup was smudged, her dress was borrowed from her cousin. And her perfume? An expired sample from a neighborhood store. But even so, the fool believed it could work. That maybe, in the midst of that crowd of blind dates, someone would see something in her beyond her negative balance and the scars that life had left behind. Get comfortable in your chair, because what you're about to see is not a fairy tale, it's reality dressed up as a miracle, it's a tragedy with a twisted ending, it's the story of how a poor, desperate, and deluded girl sat down at the wrong table, and ended up at the center of the most absurd turnaround of her life. If you stumbled upon this thinking it was just another fake couple video, get ready to be swallowed up by a story that will leave you with your heart in your mouth and your mind in tatters. And hey, take advantage now and hit the subscribe button, activate the damn bell, because what we deliver here is dirty, real, and addictive history. It's not a video, it's a slap in the face to anyone who thinks life is fair. If you like a plot that tears you apart and leaves you begging for the next episode, subscribe to the channel and comment, "I want more," below, and I'll bring you part 2 before you finish your instant noodles. Now let's get back to the misery. Her name was Julia. But it could have been Amanda, Carla, Fernanda, whatever. She was just one of millions trying to pretend she wasn't broken inside and out. That night was her chance. She had seen the blind date ad on a Facebook group called Lonely Hearts, RJ. The registration fee was 12.90 Brazilian reals. The price of an illusion paid in 2 installments on her Nubank card. The event was at a fancy restaurant in the South Zone, the kind she only saw on TV shows about rich lawyers. She arrived trembling. In her hand, a small plastic bag pretending to be leather. In her eyes, hope and despair. At the door, the hostess asked her name and pointed to table 12. But then the mistake began. Or fate. Or the well-planned misfortune of the universe. Because when she entered, she got the wrong table. She sat at 21. The guy there was different from the others. Simple shirt, unshaven, old cell phone. He didn't even look like he had the money to pay the cover charge. And she thought, great, another loser just like me. But he smiled. A sincere smile, the kind you only see in children or people who have lost everything. They started talking. She realized that he wasn't asking her standard questions. He didn't want to know her star sign, her height, or where she saw herself in 5 years. He just listened. She poured her heart out. She talked about her father who had disappeared, her sick mother, her job as a shop assistant that barely paid the rent. And he just said, "I understand." And she, without knowing why, felt that he really did understand. She was so caught up in the moment that she didn't even notice that she was at the wrong table. That Enrique, from table 12, was waiting for her on the other side of the room, impatient, thinking he had been stood up. And there she was, laughing at corny jokes, drinking sparkling water as if it were champagne. Time passed. The restaurant emptied out. Night turned into early morning. And the guy at table 21 was still there. The waiter brought the bill. She started to sweat. But he said, "Relax, this one's on me." She smiled, but thought, how many times is he going to charge it to his card, poor guy? What she didn't know was that his card had no limit. In fact, he wasn't even using his real name. The guy at table 21 wasn't just anyone. And that, my friend, you'll only find out if you stay until the end, because this story still has a lot of pain to go through. But back to the story. After dinner, he offered to take her to the bus stop. She refused. She said she was going to get a ride. She lied. Because she didn't even have enough money for a $5 ride. She waited for him to walk away and walked in the rain to the terminal. But when she got there, he was there. In a black car with a driver. She froze. She thought he was stalking her, that he was crazy. But he just rolled down the window and said, "Get in, it's dangerous." And she got in. Without understanding anything. Not knowing that that car was worth more than anything she had ever seen in her life. Inside the car, he remained silent. Until, at the last traffic light before her house, he dropped the first bomb, "I know you sat at the wrong table." Her heart stopped. The blood drained to her feet. She tried to open her mouth, but he continued. "And even so, it was the best part of my week." Her head was spinning. That luxury car looked like a spaceship, and she was just a stowaway in the life of someone who clearly wasn't playing in the same league as her. When he said, "I know you sat at the wrong table," she froze. She tried to open her mouth, make up an excuse, apologize, run away. But he didn't give her a chance. "You don't have to explain yourself. Fate did what the organization didn't." And honestly, I'm glad. Her mind went blank. Since when do rich people talk about fate? Since when do millionaires smile with their eyes and not with their wallets? That's when the switch flipped. Because he pulled a thick leather wallet out of his pocket, opened it, and along with the black and metallic cards, a photo fell out. A piece of the past. He looked at her and said, "That was my sister. She died last year. But you know what she wanted most? For me to meet someone who was real. Not a high society actress or a fake influencer with fake teeth and a rented soul. And today I felt something I haven't felt since she left." She froze. Her heart was beating so hard it felt like it was going to explode in her chest. She tried to process it, but she couldn't. The information hit her, came back, hit her again. The guy at the wrong table was a millionaire, sentimental and traumatized. A character that only exists in foreign movie scripts. And now, right there in front of her, in flesh, bone, and expensive perfume. He continued, "Call me crazy, but would you like to have dinner with me again tomorrow? No blind dates, no wrong tables. Just you and me. For real." She didn't even answer. Her mouth wouldn't obey. The yes came out through her eyes, in the form of a restrained tear. He understood, smiled, and asked the driver to take her to the door. When she got out, he handed her a card. It only had his name on it, Davi S. No number, no contact information. Just a promise between the lines, tomorrow. Same place. Table 21. That night, she didn't sleep. She turned the card over 100 times. She searched for the name. And then, the bombshell dropped. Davi S. was Davi Santos, CEO of one of the largest technology companies in the country. A ghost in the news. An antisocial genius, discreet, a billionaire with a hole in his heart. Her mind collapsed. Everything made sense now. The old cell phone, the simplicity, the empty gaze. The guy was rich in money and bankrupt in soul. But along with the realization came fear. What if it was a prank? What if he didn't show up tomorrow? What if it was just another joke by a bored rich guy? Even so, she decided to go. She picked out the same dress. She washed it by hand and ironed it. Cheap makeup, nervous smile. And she went. She arrived 10 minutes early. The restaurant was empty. Table 21, reserved. Her heart was racing, her hands were sweating. And he was late. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. And nothing. She was about to get up when the waiter approached her. "Miss Julia?" She nodded. He handed her a note. "Sorry I'm late. Problem at the board. I'm on my way. Don't run away this time. Davi." She sat down again. She waited. And then, half an hour later, he arrived. Dress shirt, dark blazer, tired eyes. But when he saw her, his tiredness melted away. He sat down, held her hand, and said, "I'm sorry. I couldn't miss this." Dinner was different. There was no venting. There was no drama. There was connection. Two worlds colliding, trying to understand if that encounter was an accident or redemption. He told her about his life. He grew up poor, became rich at 28, lost his sister at 31, and since then, he had been living in a numb state. She told him about her routine at the store, the customers who humiliate her, the loneliness, the struggle to pay the bills and still smile on Instagram. At the end of the night, he didn't let her go home alone. He drove her home, again. But this time, he went up. He met her mother, saw her small room, her clothes folded in boxes. And he didn't judge her. He seemed more at home there than in millionaire event halls. They started seeing each other frequently. In secret. He said his world wasn't ready for her. That the press would devour them. That the company's board would go crazy if they found out. But even so, he kept coming back. Every week. Every Tuesday, table 21. And then, one day, he was gone. Yes. He disappeared. No note. No message. No explanation. A week. Then 2. Then a month. And she was falling apart. She tried to move on, but every street corner screamed his name. Every notification on her phone was a punch in the stomach. Until one rainy afternoon, the phone rang at the store. It was a restricted number. "Julia?" "Yes, this is Mr. Davi Santos's office. He has requested your presence for a private meeting." Address, 360, Atlantic Avenue. Today, 7 p.m. Please be punctual. She thought of 1,000 things. An official breakup. An apology. A fancy goodbye. But even though she was afraid, she went. And what she found there was not just any man. She climbed the stairs with her heart in her mouth. Panoramic elevator, high floor, a view of the city she had never seen from above. She arrived on the 21st floor, coincidence? Or a masterstroke, and came face to face with 2 glass doors and a security guard who looked like a wardrobe. "Your name?" he asked. "Julia." His radio crackled, someone confirmed. "You can come in." She entered. Dark, elegant surroundings. Expensive furniture. The smell of incense and power. And there in the back, him. Davi. In a suit, clean-shaven, looking like he hadn't slept in 3 days. He stood up. Walked over to her. No words, just presence. And then he opened his mouth. "I'm sorry I disappeared. I needed to get away." She didn't answer. Her gaze said it all, "Get to the point. I was diagnosed. Cancer. I spent the entire month in hospitals. Treatments. Surgeries. I thought I was going to die. And if I was going to die, I didn't want you to see it." Pause. "But I didn't die." She staggered. Her world spun. She tried to understand what was real and what was a soap opera script. He continued. "I spent the last few weeks thinking about what to do. About what we are. About what we will be. And I realized that I don't deserve you. Not now. Maybe never. But I want to try." She exploded. "You disappear, you drive me crazy, you come back out of nowhere, and you have the audacity to say you don't deserve me?" He froze. For the first time, the billionaire was silent. "You made me fall for you, Davi. You made me believe. And now you come with stories about illness, about deserving? I want to know if you're going to fight." Silence. Heavy. Deadly. And then he knelt down. "I'm not good with words. But if you accept me, there's something I've prepared." He clapped his hands. The door in the background opened. A crew entered. Filming. Lights. Sound. It was a set. And on the giant screen behind him, the video began to play, their encounters. The tables. The smiles. All filmed by the restaurant's cameras. He had bought the rights to the recordings. He made a mini documentary about their love. And at the end of the video, a question. "Will you marry me, Julia?" She cried. She laughed. She punched him lightly. And she replied with a broken voice. "Yes, you idiot. Yes." Explosion of applause. The team celebrating. The security guard wiping away tears. A movie script? No. Real fucking life. Cut to 2 months later, an intimate wedding on a private island. Guests. Only those who matter. She in a simple but radiant dress. He in white, light. Wedding rings engraved with the initials of their chaos. And just when everyone thought the fairy tale was over, they launched a channel. Table 21. A mix of love, overcoming adversity, and behind-the-scenes glimpses of their crazy life. In 1 week. 1 million subscribers. In 1 month. The series was bought by a streaming platform. The girl who sat at the wrong table became a millionaire's wife. But more than that, she became his heart. And he became hers. End of the story. No way. That was just the beginning. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, now is the time. Come join the Table 21 family and get ready, because the next videos will make you cry, laugh, and rethink this shitty life. Turn on the bell, share with that friend who always sits at the wrong table, and comment below, have you ever SAT at the wrong table? See you in the next episode. And remember, love sometimes comes disguised as a mistake. Except that mistake became destiny.